beauty. Beauty is something that we all long to be beautiful. We long to hear that from our friends, from our fathers, and most of all, we should long to hear it from our Lord. And He does call us beautiful. It says in Isaiah 55, I'll start in verse 1. Ho, anyone who thirsts, come to the waters. You who have no money, come, buy and eat. Yes, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend money for what is not bread, your wages for what does not satisfy? Listen carefully to me and eat what is good. Let your soul delight itself in abundance. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you. The sure mercies of David, which I have given him as a witness to the people, a leader, a commander of the people. Surely you shall be called a nation to a nation you do not know. The nations who do not know you shall run to you, because the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, He has glorified you. Now that word glorified in verse 5 can also be translated into beautiful. And that also means to show His glory. It's parar in Hebrew, and to show His glory. So that means God has created us to show His beauty, that He can pour into us, that it's shown out. And one of the things I was thinking about is, how do we see the beauty of God? When we talk about Christ, we describe Him not as facial features or what He wore or how He looked. We described Him by His characteristics. And that is my challenge today. How are we defined by our characteristics, that beauty that Christ has placed in us? So Colossians 3:12 through 15. Therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, long-suffering, bearing with one another, forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you must also do. But above all these things, put on love, which is the bond of perfection, and let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to which also you were called in one body, and be thankful. These are the characteristics that God desires for us to have on. That is what makes us beautiful. God's life in us. And it's not something that we have to try to do. We can try to be merciful. We can try to be loving. What we really need to do is ask the Lord to grow those aspects of that into us. And that is what makes us beautiful. So, for example, I would pray and ask the Lord to make me more kind, and ask Him to show me to be merciful. And you're going to have tests in that, and that's a beautiful part of what God does. When we cry out for these things, He refines us, and that's what makes us beautiful through that refining process. I want to really challenge you today to pray those things in Colossians over yourself, to ask the Lord to make you beautiful in His sight, not in the eyes of the world, but in His eyes. And also, I was really convicted because I tend to judge my sisters by the way they look. I think we all have that tendency. And I want to challenge you to start describing people by the characteristics that God has placed into them. Instead of, oh, she has great hair, but wow, her love for people is so genuine. That meekness, that kindness in her is so exciting. That enthusiasm for Christ is overwhelming. I want you to start purposely focusing your mind on encouraging one another and seeing beauty in others as well. So you are beautiful, and God has called you to greater things.
Don't forget to comment, girls.